I've just finished my first playthrough of Dark Souls, so I thought it was finally time to sit down and rank all of the bosses from worst to best on a tier list. Before getting into it, I just want to quickly say that this is based entirely on my first playthrough experience. I have played other Soulslikes, including Elden Ring, so I'm not completely new to the genre, but these rankings are mainly based on how each boss felt to me in the moment. The criteria is a mix of the actual fight itself, along with things like design, arena, lore, and overall memorability. Basically, how much I enjoyed each boss and how much they stood out. I also streamed this playthrough live, and I've just started Dark Souls 2 over on Twitch if you want to go follow the next run. So yeah, let's get into it. I don't think the bosses in this game are what made this game S tier, personally, and that's for me. I feel like this game is more about the story and the impact it has on you, and like the perseverance elements, and you being an undead, and the importance of humanity and the value of that, rather than the bosses. I think this is accurate. Obviously a lot of people will have different opinions because we all had different playthroughs, which is really, really cool. I missed a lot in my playthrough, which obviously would have impacted my tier list. I'm gonna try be as fair as I possibly can be. Here we go, tier list time. Gravity was the #1 boss. I made a lot of mistakes in this playthrough. I went in completely blind. I did ask people not to spoil too much for me, so yeah. Okay, let's get into the tier list. Taurus Demon. What did we think of Taurus Demon? I don't know. I think Taurus Demon is kind of a C rank. He wasn't very difficult. I didn't have a lot of fun. He's not very memorable. In terms of swag, he didn't have much of it. Not much vibes. He was okay. I don't know. I can't really say that that's a very memorable fight for me. So I think I'm gonna have to rank that a C. Stray Demon. Only because we re-encountered him at the end of the game, I'm gonna rank him at B. He's a little bit more memorable, obviously because he's at the end of the game. It was kind of just like a throwback for me. I enjoyed that. I liked coming back to the beginning to kind of see where I came from, see my origins, you know what I mean? I feel like he's got a slightly better design than Taurus Demon. I mean, who could forget that butt? Yeah, that stood out to me. He was okay. He's B. Maybe not even B. Maybe he's C. And then, should we put Taurus Demon at D? Asylum Demon? D. Don't really remember. Don't really care. I didn't get much context on this boss. Kind of average for me. Not gonna lie to you. Is there no F tier? We're adding an F, guys. Bed of Chaos, 100% Golden Flea. Let's just get that out the way right freaking now. Bed of Chaos. Where is Bed of Chaos? F tier. There we go. Bed of Chaos, absolutely F tier. I hated that boss. It was so gimmicky. It was so annoying. I honestly don't see how that's enjoyable. I don't know why any of the devs thought that was a good idea. You guys definitely got me through it. I think I would have gotten very frustrated at that point of the game if I was doing it by myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was really freaking shit. I did not enjoy Bed of Chaos. When I posted my one Instagram reel asking people which boss was the worst, which one should I expect like the worst fight out of, which one was the most frustrating, in only GIFs, this was the one that was hinted at the most. That got like so many views. I think it's almost at 300k now. Everybody agreed. No one likes Bed of Chaos. It is the absolute freaking worst. Environmental puzzle. Yeah, exactly, Scott. Bed of Chaos isn't really a boss. I definitely agree there. I don't think it should have been. I don't think it should have been in the game. It kind of just made it annoying. It felt like it was maybe a rush job. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I don't see why the devs would have put it in. But anyway, moving on. Gargoyles. That was also quite early in the game. I'm gonna put Gargoyles in average. They were average for me. I think C is fair. They weren't a necessarily fun fight, but I did like that you get to ring the bell afterwards. I think that was our first encounter with what? That was definitely our first encounter going against 2 bosses, right? It was fun. It was okay. Not very challenging. I didn't really struggle there either. And I think that's also something that's super important for me in a game these days, is kind of boss design, combat design, unique move sets, etc. And they didn't really have it. So I'm going to say that they're a C. They're pretty average. Not terrible, but they're okay. Okay, who was next? Capra Demon. This one I don't know where to put, because look, Cappy, he was memorable. But what I can say is that I hated the damn arena that he was in with the dogs. I thought that was so unfair. I was like, I thought the rest of the game was going to be like that, guys. At that point, I was genuinely worried. I was like, I can't play through this game if all of the bosses are going to be like that, because it is literally just unfair. You don't get to appreciate the fight for what it is. Do I think he's an F tier? I don't think he's as bad as Bed of Chaos. I think he had potential. I'm probably going to put him at D tier. Hated the boss arena. I really did. Okay, so I think we're going to leave Cappy at D tier. I think that's fair. I think most people would agree with that. I don't think he was spectacular. I don't think he was special. Is what it is. Oh, Moonlight Butterfly. I didn't like the Moonlight Butterfly. I thought it was shit. I didn't like how I had to wait for it to land every single time. The design is cool, but personally, and this is just a personal opinion, I didn't like it at all. That's an F for me. It wasn't necessarily memorable. It was pretty. It was okay. It was okay. I don't know. I don't think many will agree with that, because maybe they had builds better suited to it. But Moonlight Butterfly is okay. Yeah, apparently I'm good, guys. Apparently I got good in this little playthrough that we did now. Hey, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, no, it was good. I think I just got the hang of the game by the end of it. The moves became a lot more predictable. I do think Dark Souls, once you're able to read the patterns, it does become a lot easier, but in a really good way, in a really freaking satisfying way. But maybe it doesn't deserve F. Maybe it doesn't deserve F. It was pretty. I mean, the design itself was cool. I just didn't enjoy it because, again, I am a melee build. Okay, next one. Let's move on to Gaping Dragon next. Gaping Dragon was... I'm kind of in between B and C for Gaping Dragon. I think it was one of the first very large boss fights we encountered. I did expect a little bit more. He had a cool design. I liked that the tail mechanic came into things. Obviously, we had that with Gargoyles as well. I don't know. He was enjoyable. He wasn't that difficult. I'm kind of leaning towards B, because I do remember the fights and it was right in the beginning of the game, and purely because of that, I feel like he maybe deserves more credit. It was okay. It wasn't a bad boss fight. It wasn't fantastic. So maybe good. B is like what? It's good. Okay. Gaping Dragon. I think I'm going to leave Gaping Dragon in B. We can reevaluate afterwards. Iron Golem. C. Purely because I barely fought him. We got our big boy Tarkus to really clutch that one for us. I think it was cool. It wasn't really anything special. We encounter a ton of Iron Golems in the game, in FromSoft games, all the freaking time. He wasn't very special to me, but I mean, he was cool. And I did like that boss fight led us to an Orlando, because that was a really memorable moment for me as well. Next one, Pinwheel. I'm just gonna look at Pinwheel next, because why not? Pinwheel, F. Didn't like it. Wasn't enjoyable. It was a shit design. He was weak. I hate the Pinwheel enemies. That's all I'll say about that. I didn't like it very much. Ornstein and Smough. Where do you guys think Ornstein and Smough belong? For me, personally, I really enjoyed this fight. The design was cool. I didn't like that there were two of them at first, and then I realized that's kind of what... I don't know, I feel like I got more into the vibe of Dark Souls at that point. I feel like that is more reflective of maybe some of the later boss fights that come for, like Elden Ring, etc. I did really enjoy it. It's memorable for me. I liked the lightning attacks. I liked that you had to juggle the two of them eventually. Like, once I overcame it, it felt really satisfying. You guys agree? Straight to the top. I thought it was just going to be me that wanted to rank it at S. I thought I was going to get some backlash over there. Yeah, I would rank Ornstein and Smough S tier, 100%. I thought they were great. I had a lot of fun doing it. I think that was the fight that I struggled with maybe second most, next to Artorias. But I feel like that's because it was a skill check. It was up until that point in the game, I feel like we didn't really encounter any serious bosses, anything like that. So I'm going to rank them at an S tier. I agree, guys. I do agree. I think the combat was a lot better than a lot of the other bosses. I didn't feel like they were as janky. The hitboxes were better. I feel like maybe that's where a lot of the budget for Dark Souls went. Okay, next, moving on. I've got some thoughts. Oh, let's do Chaos Witch Quelaag. I'm gonna rank her an A. I really felt like at that point of the game as well, her design was a lot better. it was a funny moment for me. It was memorable. You guys made me laugh when it came to that boss fight. I wouldn't rank it an S because it's not like it was very, very challenging for me. She was great. She had a cool design. You guys made me laugh. It was memorable for me. Her combat was fun. Like, I enjoyed it. I didn't really struggle with it that much, but I do think it took me like 2, maybe max 3 tries, which made it fun. Anybody else have anything to add about her aside from the obvious? Who do we want to do next? Demon Firesage. Again, I don't know why, but this boss did kind of feel repetitive to me. It didn't feel special. I don't quite remember much of it. Was he the one that was in the lava pool? I think that he might have been. Wasn't very challenging. I don't typically like bosses that are in an arena like that. Not that I struggled with it, but he kind of just felt average to me. He felt average, so I think that's a fair ranking. I don't know if you guys would disagree. Some of you might. But it's cool. It was still a cool one. I'm not going to rank it too low because it wasn't unnecessarily painful. It's not like he was... Dark Sun Gwyn, I'm kind of tempted to give him an F. I am tempted to give him an F. I didn't enjoy the fight, really. I thought it was kind of boring, kind of gimmicky, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, his design wasn't bad, so maybe we can move him up to a D. I think we can move Dark Sun Gwyn up to a D. He was kind of lame. He's a bit of a weakling. Not necessarily boss tier vibes for me. Immediately, Seath. I think we all know how I feel about Seath. I think it's obvious. He is the best. I love Seath. I love his design. I love his story. I love that he is the protector of Artorias. I just think that all of that was great. I think it's obvious. Seath is 100% S tier. He's the best. I love Seath. He is the goodest boy in all the land. There is no better boss than Seath. Who next? Seath. Seath is a traitor. He had a cool design. We didn't struggle with Seath, although the combat was kind of okay. I do like that they had another mechanic in it. Whoa, that was so loud. Yo, the lightning is wild over here. I just got the front of my life. Okay, Seath, he's a traitor. His design was kind of cool. I like that he had a hidden element in his boss fight, so I'm gonna give him just a B. He's cool. I just like the way he looks. I don't think it was a particularly awesome fight by any means. I do like that he has more of a story, obviously, because he's one of the lords. But he did also betray his own kind, so I kind of don't like him for that. He's not a good boy like Seath, you know what I mean? His first encounter demands, oh, new players die. What a good point. Okay, yeah, I think I agree with the C then. I think we put Seath at C. His redeeming qualities are that he has a story, he's got a cool design, and in the arena there's a trick to it, which I like. That kind of makes me rank bosses higher because it makes the fight more interesting, more unique, more memorable for me. Crossbreed Priscilla, she was in Anor Londo, so we can rate her next. I think she was interesting. I think she was interesting. I would rate her as a B because I liked her design. I liked that she went invisible. I liked that she pretended to be this holier than thou kind of god / boss saying, no, we are all peaceful beings here, whatever. But that's totally a lie because I feel like in that area, at least, you could definitely see that there was torture going on there. It was wild. It kind of reminded me of like, where's the place in Castle Morn vibes, maybe Stormvale Castle as well, with the grafted scion, stuff like that. That's what that reminded me of, but I feel like she was represented quite well, like this image of purity. I would rank her a B, maybe even higher. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. She definitely tried to convince us that she was better than she is. It was cool. It wasn't A tier, it wasn't S tier. Well, the feet were just like a classic FromSoft edition. Moving on. We're getting closer to the DLC bosses, and you guys know how I feel about the DLC bosses. Ceaseless Discharge, boring. Probably boring because I cheesed it. But I didn't even mean to cheese it, so I am gonna rate it an F. Actually, no, I know that there's a story there. I know that there's a story there that I think I might have missed, so we're gonna put him at D. I think a D is a fair rating. Centipede Demon, 4 Kings. Okay, 4 Kings. 4 Kings is arguably a pretty freaking good one. That was really memorable for me. I shat bricks. I don't know why. It kind of just felt like a really big boss fight to me. The stakes felt high. I did like that you had to drop into the abyss. It was memorable. It was unique. They have a story that was hinted to from like the moment you landed in New Londo. It was really freaking cool. I like the 4 Kings. I don't think they're worthy of S tier, but they were definitely good. They had really good combat as well. Centipede Demon. It was okay. It was okay. I feel like we have a lot of D tiers right now. It is definitely becoming a little bit congested over there. Maybe overly easy for me, but I might have been over-leveled for it, so I don't feel like I have a very fair opinion of it. We're gonna rank it D. All in favor say aye. It's kind of just not very memorable. It didn't feel special. It didn't feel difficult. Boss design, I don't remember any story being behind Centipede Demon, so I could be convinced otherwise, but you might have to state your case. This is where it gets exciting, guys, because we are approaching DLC. Gravelord Nito, very average. Dare I say D tier. There was definitely story that I missed from him. He was slightly more memorable though, so maybe C is more fair. I think C is more fair. I don't really have anything more to say about him. I'm not particularly opinionated about Gravelord Nito. You know what? That's totally fair, and it does make it more interesting, actually. That's a very good point. You know what? I can concede there. I can concede there. It is one of the only boss arenas that it's not just small, it's unique. So okay, we'll put Centipede Demon at C then. Moving on, we're getting to the good ones, guys. We're getting to the good ones. I'm excited about these ones. The first one that we encountered in the DLC was Sanctuary Guardian. This is probably a personal preference. I kind of just liked the way it was designed. It's nothing deep. I know I don't think there was much story to them, but I just liked it. I thought it was cool that they had wings and they were kind of like a lion. It gave me like Greek mythology vibes. It was a little bit more memorable to me. I don't know why. I think it's just, again, it's just the design. The combat was kind of cool. Again, not A or S tier worthy, but it was cool. I liked it. It wasn't that different though. I don't know, does it stand up to Crossbreed Priscilla? So you see, this is where it gets a bit funny. Like, do we move Crossbreed Priscilla up to A tier? Potentially. Sanctuary Guardian was cool. Sanctuary, your rating for him is C. Good design, but annoying attacks. Hard to fight him in melee with his heavy movement avoidance. You know what? That's actually totally fair. I do agree with that. Annoying attacks. I think it only got annoying Nouch when they put you against 2 of them. I didn't feel like it was particularly... I don't think I'm going to move him from B. I think he was cool. He was a bit more memorable to me. He felt like more of a unique boss. It's not like we were seeing another demon, another like lizard, you know what I mean? So that was cool for me. I liked that, and he wasn't overly difficult, which kind of makes him rank a little bit higher for me. This is where it gets cool. This is where it gets good. The next boss that we encountered, I think this is going to be an obvious one, guys. Straight to S. Artorias, no notes. I think his combat was awesome. The only boss that I feel like I really struggled with, maybe aside from Ornstein and Smough, so freaking good. Loved his moveset, loved his story. Him and good boy Sif, like best team ever. I loved it. I loved how deep they got into the story with that. It was really cool, and at the end how we could kind of give him an honorable death, an honorable send-off. I think that was it was peak cinema. No one can convince me that Artorias is not an S tier. I don't know if any of you disagree. If you disagree, you can tell me, but I don't think I'm gonna change. I don't think I'm gonna change the rating. They cut dialogue from him. I feel like, so now that's actually a very good point. I feel like that's what Elden Ring kind of got right, is they didn't have many cutscenes. They didn't have an overwhelming amount of them, is what I mean, like you have in a lot of these story games. I feel like Artorias could have used better cutscenes, some dialogue, you know, like a Mesmer type dialogue, just like hits hard, is very short, is so freaking good. I wish we got more of that. I can't believe they cut it. my actual favorite from the Dark Souls series. I think that's probably the same for a lot of people as well. No notes. Again, absolute cinema. I wish we got more, like Nouch was saying. Apparently there's cutscenes. I would love to go and see those. I could have done with way more of the story of Artorias. Brilliant. Black Dragon Kalameet. I liked his moveset. He was very big, very cool. He was memorable to me because we first encountered him and we couldn't take him down. We just got roasted, toasted, and annihilated. But it was cool. It was fun. I really liked that you got the giant to kind of take him down for you. It wasn't a difficult boss fight for me personally, but I do see how it is a very difficult boss fight if you're not used to dragon boss fights in Dark Souls games. The only reason I first tried him is because I've done so many dragon boss fights in the past, and that's because I struggled with them so much, and now apparently I don't, so that's crazy. I'm gonna rank him A tier. I think he was cool. Our streamer is a gamer. Yeah, your streamer is a gamer since she was a toddler, so maybe that's why. But Noxic, no, for real, dragons used to be the death of me. Whenever I encounter one in a FromSoft game, it is absolutely like, I know for a fact I am going to die. There's gonna be chaos. This one was just, I think it was luck, guys. I think it was luck because all of you were watching me or something like that. But he was okay. I've fought many a dragon in these games, and this was just the one that I first tried. It was crazy. It was like I was, I don't know, I was on a different level. I was ascended or something. I don't know. Manus. Manus was a really fun boss fight. I really enjoyed that you could summon Sif in there. His combo wombo 5-attack smash was pretty freaking insane. That was quite difficult. I did die a few times to him. It was learnable. I did use the silver pendant once, maybe twice max. I think that would have been a cool element to maybe have to use more. I wish I did. So I feel like personally I have to rank him probably an A because I feel like I personally could have done better in that fight. Sif kind of carried me in that fight at the end there. I didn't intend on wiping him out as fast as I did, but I do think he was cool. He's got a story. He's in the abyss. He had a cooler design than majority of the base game bosses. We gotta be honest about that, right? You'd put him on high A, okay. As some of his attacks cheat, they can last longer than your rolls do. So now I experienced that as well. And speaking about that, I think that's where they try to force you to use the silver pendant, because they're like, okay, we're not going to give you another way out. You need to use the silver pendant if you want to survive, which I thought was pretty cool. It was thoughtful that they gave you an item specifically, in my opinion, I think it was, specifically for the Manus fight. Again, I do wish I had utilized it more. It would have been cooler to say that I used it effectively and not just once or twice. And last but not least, we have Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. He had the drip, guys. He was pretty tough, like cool. You know what I mean? Like the kids say these days. I loved the flames. The moveset was really epic. He wasn't particularly difficult, purely because I think it's an endgame boss and you're kind of just used to the gameplay at that point. It was really fun. It was cool. Story-wise, obviously, most of the story is about him, but it didn't really have an impact on me. You know what I mean? So, I think you guys will probably agree with this one, though. Will you agree with this one? I'm gonna rate Gwyn an A. I did kind of mess up the ending there, so maybe that would have made it a little bit cool. But it was really, really fun. I liked his moves, the flames, the everything. It was epic. Do we all agree? I don't think I would move anyone. Nito up to a B. Okay, Pinwheel up to D, just because he's not as horrible of Bed of Chaos. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We'll put Pinwheel up to D. Nito up to B because his boss fight is epic compared to the other ones that are in his... Okay. So you say Nito. Oh, that's totally... You know what? That's actually totally fair. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, we can't actually compare him to these, hey? But yeah, I do feel like I missed a lot. There's so much that I want to research because now I feel like there's this story, this deeper story that I missed out on. Okay, I think I have maybe one more change. I'm considering, and maybe you guys can tell me if you agree with this. Now that I'm looking who's in A tier, I've got a feeling I should probably change Chaos Witch to maybe a B tier. I do think she was better than Gravelord Nito, but she was probably on par with Sanctuary Guardian and Crossbreed Priscilla. To delve into the lore though through items and characters, yes, exactly. So I did do that now, but I feel like I just didn't get enough of it throughout the story. I could have done a better job of searching for these things for sure, 100% those, I agree. But I don't think the bosses in this game are what made this game S tier, personally, and that's for me. I know that that's probably a little bit of a hot take, but I feel like there were only a select few good bosses in the game that were genuinely memorable, genuinely unique. And maybe, you know what, maybe also tarnished that is that I have played other Souls-likes before. So maybe that's the problem, but I feel like this game is more about the story and the impact it has on you and like the perseverance elements and you being an undead and the importance of humanity and the value of that rather than the bosses. You know, this is my tier list, guys. It was actually really cool talking about this because we got to go back into the game and kind of delve into what we experienced. I think this is cool. I think this is accurate. Obviously a lot of people will have different opinions because we all had different playthroughs, which is really, really cool. I missed a lot in my playthrough, which obviously would have impacted my tier list. But I really, really freaking liked it. I don't know. It was really freaking epic. I loved it. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Pop your favorite boss down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to go and follow my Twitch channel. I will be streaming a lot more Dark Souls and Souls-like content in the future, as well as uploading some videos here. So don't forget to subscribe over here as well. Okay, I hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.